Kyle Forgeard went from flipping burgers at McDonald's to asking his parents to borrow $250,000 in a pinch to making it to the Forbes list in his late 20s. In order to achieve this much success so quickly, you have to do things differently and think outside the box. Sometimes this can destroy the most valuable relationships you have, leading you to wonder if it's all even worth it. Navigating through the early days on YouTube was similar to setting off on a voyage but not knowing exactly where your final destination will be. With things changing so quickly, this would become the demise of internet personalities who were unable to change their strategy during these crucial times. Luckily, we get to dive inside the rise of Kyle Forgeard on his way to becoming the next billion-dollar CEO. Kyle Forgeard was born July 12, 1994 in Ontario, Canada. Growing up, Kyle was always obsessed with filming, creating short skits with his friends, and recording prank videos. It didn't seem like work to Kyle because it wasn't. That's just what he wanted to do with his free time. Kyle entered high school and started uploading YouTube videos in 2010 under the name Nelk Films.
Hi. Hi.
You know what? I've had enough of this. No one knows who I am. I quit, okay? I've had enough of this. I quit.
He started to learn all aspects of creating, editing, and producing videos, and Kyle started to get better and better the more time he spent on it. At this point, there were more and more people making a living from ad revenue generated from their YouTube videos. Kyle couldn't believe that you could just get paid to upload YouTube videos until he finally got his first YouTube check.
It was lit, and it was like it was called like the YouTube Partner Program, and I saw like other YouTubers, they were like making a living off YouTube, and I was like, no fucking way you can like make a living off YouTube. Like, wow. You just get paid to upload fucking YouTube videos. Like, yeah. That sounds like the dream to me. So we kept applying and we kept getting denied. And then eventually we got it. So we would start making like $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, you know, like just enough to kind of like, you know, just fund some shit, like do videos and shit.
The success did not come right away, and Kyle decided to apply around to various different film schools in Canada. He got accepted into Ryerson University in Toronto. This was Kyle's time to really master filmmaking, but this would become a turning point in Kyle's life after coming to a realization. Kyle started attending classes and was starting to think on a deeper level. Am I getting taught film by someone who really wasn't all that successful in film? No disrespect to the professor, but Kyle was starting to get more and more views on his videos at this point, and YouTube as a platform was growing very quickly. It was time. Kyle went to his parents and told them that he really believes this whole YouTube thing is the path, and he expressed his desire to drop out of college.
And I told my parents, I was like, I think the videos were getting like, 100,000 views. And I was like, yo, I think if I want to ever be my own boss and do anything in this like genre or whatever, I think this is the way to go. Just like build my own shit, be my own boss, and then I can kind of do whatever I want when I kind of make it, right?
And what was their response to that? Were they
believed in me because, yeah, they kind of believed in me, and they saw like the money coming in. I think it was like blind faith, to be honest, which was cool. Like a lot of people say like my parents never fucking supported me, but mine was like the opposite.
Wow.
But there was one slight hiccup. Kyle's videos at this point were not advertiser friendly, so although Nelk was bringing in hundreds of thousands of views, which most creators, this would result in big checks, but with Nelk, it was quite the opposite, and Kyle had to get creative. He realized that he had to build a business around YouTube in order to make this whole thing work. Kyle had to put a plan into action, and quickly, because he just told his parents that he was dropping out of college, and they were actually supportive, but Kyle had to prove to his parents that he had what it took. So Kyle went out and got a job at McDonald's. He couldn't stand the job at McDonald's, so Kyle decided to go work on a golf course to save up money to fund his next moves. Around this time, he ended up partnering with his friend Jesse, who also was into filmmaking and pretty darn funny himself.
Need help filling up?
I got it.
You're good?
Yeah.
What was your name?
Great.
Great? Oh, cool. I'm Deshaun Day.
Yeah.
You able to do me a little favor? Would you hold this for 1 sec? Oh. Yeah, it's the only way I get through my shift, buddy, you know what I mean? Just maybe a couple shots. Okay, we're going all in. Good. You want a swig?
No, I'm good, bro.
You're cool?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Keep it real, okay?
The crew was growing, and Kyle ended up becoming good friends with several people that he worked at the golf course with, and they ended up joining Nelk. It was this time that things were going to the next level, and they decided to move to Los Angeles. But this would be a whole different problem. Because Kyle and Nelk were Canadian, they couldn't stay in the United States for long periods at a time, so they would spend 6 months at a time in Los Angeles and then 6 months back home in Canada. But there was one problem with this plan. When the crew was in LA, they had so much content to film and the channel would be positively impacted as a result. But that would all be for them to just go back to Canada, where the views would drop due to less opportunities and they would start to lose motivation. They had a following but couldn't support the operation with the pennies that they were receiving from YouTube, so they had the idea of doing a merch drop in order to keep things going, but there was one problem. They didn't have enough money to fund the merch operations up front. Kyle's parents at this point realized that Kyle had some real talent with the film aspect, but nothing told them that he knew much about business. So when Kyle asked his parents if they could take a $250,000 loan out against their house, it wasn't an easy yes. But they believed in Kyle, so they borrowed the money.
Listen, I want to ask you one more.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
One more. What does your family think about everything?
My
Because like they saw you from the
supportive,
from the ground up
That's the one thing. Like people will be like, my parents never believed in me, but
Yeah.
mine was the complete opposite.
from the start.
I think it's because I was killing the film shit,
Yeah.
so they always knew I was going to do something in film.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, when we first did our merch drop, because we like always bought the shit ourselves, right? We didn't partner with a merch company ever.
Okay.
Like we always did it ourselves. So we needed. My parents lent us like off their like mortgage, like you know how they had a line of credit, so
Yeah.
if they
Equity,
want
yeah.
like so they were approved for a line of credit for their house, so they lent us like $250,000
Holy
out of their line of credit. So it's not even like they had that money, like they took a loan from the bank
holy
for us to make our first deposit on our like merch.
The merch drop ended up being a complete success, and Kyle was starting to realize the power of the internet and realize that he has some extremely loyal supporters of Nelk and their clothing line, Full Send. Drop after drop after drop, they were selling out faster and faster every time. The company was a huge success, and as the team was rapidly growing, Kyle's partner Jesse began growing apart from the crew. Jesse ultimately decided to step away from Nelk. He was burnt out and he needed to take some time to take care of some personal things. This made things more difficult on Kyle because that was one of his best friends and business partners, but he wasn't going to stop because he had a vision and nothing was going to stop him. The team was growing and Kyle was adding new members. They were traveling all over the country for videos, and Kyle was in deep business talks to release their own alcohol seltzer. This was a big goal of Kyle's because Nelk, in simplest terms, had built themselves into the ultimate party brand. After over a year of testing, Kyle and Full Send released the alcoholic seltzer brand Happy Dad, which quickly started becoming available in bars across the United States, and the company is already valued at over $250 million. Things have continued to grow, and these huge moves landed Kyle on the 30 under 30 Forbes list for 2022, an absolutely insane accomplishment for someone who not only recorded prank videos at McDonald's several years prior, but actually working at McDonald's. I don't see Kyle having to return to flipping burgers anytime soon, only flipping checks. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and click one of these on the screen and watch another. You won't regret it.